Welcome to World History with Mr. Giese. In this episode, we will be discussing the background of conditions of Russia prior to World War II. At the end, you'll be able to understand Russia's experience in World War I, list the events of the Russian Revolution, and describe the impact of the Russian Revolution on the country's leadership. While most of Europe was involved with the Great War, conditions in Russia continued to worsen. Tsar Nicholas II failed to follow through on any of his promises after the Revolution of 1905, and the economic conditions worsened for the Russian people. These conditions would lead to another set of revolutions of unhappy people. Before World War I started, a small group of Marxists, known as Bolsheviks, emerged to try to change conditions through revolution. Led by Vladimir Lenin, the Bolsheviks wanted to overthrow the Tsar and put the proletariat, or industrial workers, in charge. This was different than Karl Marx's idea of communism by overthrowing the concept of capitalism, and the idea that the Bolsheviks still wanted control or have leadership authority. By 1914, with all the talks of revolution, Nicholas welcomed the war. He felt that this might unify the people behind the military fighting in a war. This sense of patriotism didn't last long. The factories were not ready to produce the goods needed for war. Leaders advanced on who they knew, not what they knew, and human casualties skyrocketed. By 1950, Nicholas took control of the war, and the Central Powers stopped a major advancement. Now, the soldiers of the Russian army had lost faith in their leadership and felt doomed. On top of that, back home, while Nicholas was gone, Tsarina Alexandra, his wife, which the people did not favor, took control of the country. Grigory Rasputin advised the Tsar's wife, but most felt that Rasputin was corrupt and immoral. On March 8, 1917, to protest lack of food and fuel, people protested in the capital. The police and soldiers did not follow orders to shoot the people protesting. On top of that, Nicholas ordered the Duma, or the legislative branch in Russia, to disband, and they disobeyed. Nicholas could see that he was no longer in control and abdicated the throne. The Duma then established a provisional government. Even after this, the people were not happy with the leadership or the fighting in World War I. The Bolsheviks wanted a fundamental change. By mid-1917, military offensive had failed and rebellion had begun within the army. The Bolshevik Army, or the Red Guard, attacked the provisional government and overthrew the leader in the October Revolution. Vladimir Lenin became the leader, and with communism as the program to follow, the Russian people could no longer own property. Lenin also gave back land to the peasants and the factories to the workers. From pressure from the people, Lenin wanted to get out of World War I. Under the negotiations, in order to do so, the Russians would have to give up large portions of their empire. Many did not like the treaty, and the opponents of the Bolsheviks that emerged was the White Army. The only unifying factor of this group is that they were anti-Bolshevik. After a civil war of 3 years, the Bolsheviks and the Red Army won. In 1921, after the Civil War furthered economic problems in Russia, the new economic policy was implemented. In this policy, peasants could sell extra food for profit. In 1922, as the economy was improving, former parts of the Russian Empire started to reunite and create the Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic, where the communist leaders controlled. However, after Lenin died in 1924, there was no clear successor, and with that, no clear direction of where the Soviet Union would go next.